Well, hey everybody, welcome back. We are in the garage with the layout in tatters, but we've got pretty big pieces to work with here. So what I'm shifting my attention to is right over there. That's the yard. You can see the L girder I used to brace it up and the two sections I moved. It's obviously the bottom of the yard. And I've got it kind of leaned up where it's going to go. I'm going to show you kind of what my thought process is as I think about mounting this guy to the wall. So first off, playing with the new toy here, got myself a laser level. Yeah, it's a pretty inexpensive one. Nice brand, but didn't have all the tripod and the bells and whistles like some of them do. So got a decent buy on that, and I'm shooting a line, which is, I checked it, it's as close to level as my eye can check with a whatever that kind of level is. But that's shooting a line about 50.5 inches off the floor, and it just clears those outlets. And my thinking is that will set the level of the bottom of the layout. The layout itself is about 2.5 inches thick. So if I add 2.5 inches to that line, it puts my surface at roughly 53 inches off the floor, which is bottom third of my ribs, maybe. Seems like a pretty good level. And it gives me access to the plugs on the wall, which I will be using, especially that one. I've got the big power strip there. This is gonna be my workbench area in this corner here. Right now it's just full of track and junk that needs to be, built into a layout eventually. So what I've done is I've laid the yard on its side so I can see where all the terminals are. The L brackets that I'm going to mount to the studs in the wall will need to fall between them. So I've laid it like this. It's more a problem at this end. This is the ladder end. There's not as many feeders down there in the body tracks. But at the ladder end, there's a ton of them. And I just want to make sure the stud that I select somewhere over here in this window vicinity to hold this guy up is going to sit between it. The other thing I want to make sure is I've got, where I've got this thing laying, there's another foot from the end of it to the wall, and that will allow me to use a little bit of a broader radius curve coming out of the yard this way. I had a 22-inch ruling radius before, and I'm looking at 26 or even 30 on this iteration. So that's why I'm leaving a foot there, but I think if my measurements are correct, that should leave me enough room to add another, so that little cross member there is a door, to add another one on the end of it and still have room. I'm gonna double check that. That's gonna be my main concern, to make sure I've got enough room for another section over there to extend those yard tracks. And then it's all about lining up on this end with the stud such that it falls between these things and leaves me enough room for another section over there. So that's where I am. And that's what we're working on today. I want to get this yard mounted. All right, so just measuring how much room we have at this this end of the yard, all the way. Now it's on its side, so don't get seasick here. Between the wall and the end, that's a foot. That gives me a ton of room for broader curves coming out of this crossover here, coming around to loop back around. Now let me go to the other end and let's make sure we've got enough room over there too. All right, so here we are looking at the body end of the yard. This will come out, this curve will go away. I'm gonna rework some of the stuff back here. This will all be straight. But if you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you know we are all about exact carpentry. No, that's a joke. I'm a terrible carpenter. But I can at least measure. So coming off the end here, each of these doors is 80 inches long. There's 80. And if I come straight down, 80 is right about here. So plenty of room. And there just happens to be about 32 inches between there and there. So this will fit right up into here, up against the drywall, real nice in the corner for the far end of the yard. And then it'll start making its turn into the creek scene, going along in front of the door there. So that's good. We measured correctly. I think our plan is gonna work. Now the trick is gonna be that we've got that main alignment done. I need to find, hopefully there's a stud there, or somewhere around in here that I'll be able to use. All right, well, I got the yard up on its brackets, and it's the bottom side is facing us. I'll lay it down. Once I finish moving this terminal, just where the studs were, I couldn't get the whole thing without having to move at least this one. So I've already unscrewed it. There's plenty of slack in here, so I can just slide that over out of the way so that it can sit next to this thing and not right on top of it. I'm probably gonna leave the 1x4 L girder on there for now, even though it's not gonna sit flat with that there, because I want to be able to, I'm gonna have to slide this out away from the wall, and I want it to stay in one nice piece because I need to remount the backdrop on it now that it's up there. So I'm gonna be able to do that by kind of climbing in. I can have this sitting out here, have somebody help hold it, and I can get it started coming in from the back, and then I'll just slide it up against the wall. I think that's the plan. We'll see how that works. But we are making progress. All right, we got that one moved over. And what's going on, just to kind of show you this heavier gauge wire. This side is the bus, and it just comes along, and this will just connect to the next one in series there. And so with the red one. And then the wires go through, it goes through the terminal, the wires come out, go into the next one, and then for the next section, I'll run the bus from there and there, that way. So there's a couple of places where I had to unhook a few things to get them off the rack that was on the wall upstairs. This is just simply reconnecting some things. And while it's up like this, I mean, this is chest high, it's stable. This is a really nice way to work on the wiring. So I will reconnect everything that needs to be reconnected, like those guys down there, those feeders, these couple of feeders right here, and then this bus needs to go over there. And I think that's pretty much all the wiring. All I need to do now is connect my command station to that end, and it should be powered up. All right, it's up. And we are right at a 52-inch layout height. So this is what it's gonna look like in the captain's chair right here at the yard ladder. Except now, those tracks will run another 80 inches that way before everything starts to turn. So I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of got it in here. And like I said before, I've got another foot to work with over here between the edge of the layout and the wall. So this 22-inch radius does not need to be so tight anymore. The engine service area will be reworked. I talk about this end of the industry tracks and the engine service area in one of the videos I posted a while back when I had come up with the expansion track plan. So that's where we are now. That feels like pretty good progress. And that L girder's not hurting anything under it, and it's not in anything's way. So I may well just leave it. We'll see. It's certainly not hurting anything, and it's adding stability. So I'm happy with that. Like I said before, next step from here is to put the backdrop back on. Let's learn to talk. All right, well, hey, I'm gonna wrap up here. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope everyone's doing well and is staying safe out there.